going on, guys? I am going to try this from my van. I was wanting to do it last week, and I was over at my desk, and I thought it was going to be too sketchy, so too iffy with the Wi-Fi. So I'm going to wait. Patty, give me a thumbs up if I've got good audio and video, and then we will get started with saying our 50 hellos already. Love watching you guys come in early and hanging out, chit-chatting with one another. Patty Augustine, first in the house. Floss, glad you are doing well. Oh, you know what? I didn't go all the way up. Happy Tuesday, missing Mark. I saw that and I didn't get in the chat yet because I was Maddie was eating and thought, ooh, I don't want to start talking about that. It's gonna make me sad. Jackie Dotson in the house, Laura Kramer in the house, Floss, Susan, Wondering Mimo says it's cold in Iowa. I know that. Okay, so I'm gonna get past these guys chit-chatting. Just recovering from a wild blizzard, knocked out power for 85 hours. It was crazy. Isn't that crazy? 85 hours. That is a long time to go without power, especially in the cold. When Les and Bernadette and Polly were here this January at my shop, and they were out of power for 33 hours. Thank God they had their vans and were able to stay warm and had enough power. So, yeah, it's crazy. And we've got more crazy weather coming in, well, I think here it's going to be Sunday. They may be having some bad weather in Texas right now. Dale is in the house. Hi, everyone. Doing well here in MA. I get it wrong all the time. Massachusetts. I think it's Massachusetts, maybe, with the dogs and the BF. Took the night off work. Oh, yay! Oh, I love that. Happy it's spring, even though it's still chilly. Sean and I had a good day here. The temperature reached the 60s. And when you're working, like, we're happy with 60 because too hot's not a good thing. And so 60 to 70, perfect. I'm happy with anything between 50 and 80. That's perfect for me. So Lenny is in the house. Good to see you, Lenny. What's up, everyone? That's me. Gracie and Jock, good to see you guys. All right. Yep. How did you handle that? All right, guys. I'm scrolling. Gracie and Jock, I am enjoying perfect 7-degree weather outside of Cotton, Arizona, southwest of Sedona. Gotta love that. Nancy Roberts in the house saying hi to everybody. I was born in, Susan says she was born at Scott Air Force Base. Susan, I'm a Lebanon alumni. And then Freeburg, you should know where Freeburg is because it's like Lebanon, Scott, Mascoutah, Freeburg, Belleville. It's like you're all there. Christine, good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Hi all from sunny 86 degrees in California. Good to see you, Surfing Dodo. Saying hi, Dale and Bailey saying hi from Utah. All right, guys, hang on. All right, get the thumbs up from the mods. We're getting caught up. Deborah is in the house. Good to see you. Mary is in the house saying hello from New York. I know it's probably still chilly up there. Nancy Bear saying hi from Texas. Are you guys getting storms right now? I wasn't sure if that's tonight or if that is coming this weekend along with here as well. HK, okay, I missed the first minute. What's going to make you sad? Oh, what's going to make me sad? What's gonna make me sad? I gotta think about that. Oh, she's in the house saying good day. Is it good day? Good day. Good day, mate. You know I'm not good at that. Folk of the forest. Good to see you, friend. Lesson Bernadette. Hey, how's everyone doing out there? All right, guys, I got to get caught up. Bernadette saying happy Tuesday. All right. Carrie Joe in the house. I'm trying to hit the new one. 94 in Phoenix. Like, get out! Get out of there. Helen, are you home? Hi. In Michigan, our last day of winter was 70 degrees, and the next day, first day of spring, was 22 and snowing. I know that is true because they just got a blizzard. It was 90 here today in Dallas, Fort Worth area. Very good. Heidi Paulette saying hello from Maine. I'll tell you what, we have got a lot of states in the chat tonight. If Tawana gets in, we'll have Oregon in here. We've got some states in here. Mo Bang saying hi to some folks. Good to see you, Tim. All right. Hi, Tower. I have lived in my van for 6 years. Killing it. Are you living in your van because it's the cheapest way to go, or are you living in your van because you absolutely could see yourself doing nothing else but living in your van, living the life? Distant storms, got a text warning. Yep. Yeah, I thought you guys were getting it. I see Tommy in the house. Good to see you, Tommy. I'm trying to get caught up, guys. You guys are killing it tonight. You used something. No, you said something about your dog. You didn't want to think about it because it makes you sad. Oh, we were talking about Mark Wolf. We were saying, Patty mentioned that she was missing Mark today, as we often do on Tuesdays. Mark Wolf, an amazing, amazing person in this community, passed away from cancer in October. And you know what? November. On phone, not tagging. Yes, that's it. G'day, mate. See, there you go. I got it. No, I don't. Oh, man, I'll tell you what, if it's not on your bucket list to go to Australia someday, and also for me, it's like that Switzerland, Norway area, I would love to go there someday as well. So, all right, I'm trying to get caught up. It is their personal choice. I'd love to see that. Gonna close on my retirement home this weekend in Beaumont, Texas. I hope that you don't get stormed out this weekend closing on your retirement home. Texas and the lower Midwest has been getting pounded by storms literally the last couple weeks. And it's always funny to me that people would like, oh, I can't wait to retire in Missouri or Texas or Tennessee or Mississippi. I just feel like we're in Storm Central this year. And I've got a lady out here that's been work camping for likely a week now. Oh, still picking up sticks. Oh my goodness. She could probably be here all year picking up sticks. It's that bad. The ice storms really killed it. And then this last storm, it's like they're everywhere. I plan to go to Norway. My ancestors are from there. I would love that. Oh my goodness, I am caught up. Hail was crazy in San Antonio. I'll tell you what, I was watching Ryan Hall, I believe it was Sunday evening, and golf ball, baseball, 2.5 inch size hail, Tennessee and Mississippi. And I was like, Like that will just annihilate your home or your car. Seriously. Lynn Oakey is in the house. Good to see you, Lynn. Hope you guys were okay on the last storm. Oklahoma had the fires, the tornadoes. It was crazy. Missouri has had some fires. I don't know if it's crazy people lighting fire, burning cardboard and stuff, or if it's just dry, because it's not really dry here right now. So I love Ryan Hall. You know what? The best thing that probably ever happened to me is I was caught in a tornado warning last year. Ultimately really wasn't much, but I was in my van and it really took me by surprise, because when I was driving, I was watching YouTube and not local anything, and got a knock on my van. Nobody was there, but the sirens and stuff were going off. And so I did a video about it, and I literally just kept hearing Ryan Hall, y'all, Ryan Hall, y'all, Ryan Hall, y'all. And it is a frequent channel here. And now, since this last storm, all my kids are addicted. What is the minimum floor thickness for a subfloor? 3/4 or 1 inch? Definitely could go 3/4. And if you've got a mid roof, you don't have to. I feel like that if you got 1/2 inch and put a little bit of extra furring strips, like maybe 3, so that's not much. I feel like if you were worried about headroom, like in the Ram finished out, like 6'2", you're getting close. I would have to measure mine. So if you're looking for every little 1/8 of an inch, put the furring strips closer together and you could put 1/2 inch down. Now, I secure all my stuff to the floor and the furring strips in the wall. So I use 3/4 inch and have not had issues. Love it. 1 inch is too thick, too much weight. It's not necessary. I put my furring strips down so I can put my insulation between it. And that literally is on so many videos that I have. Matter of fact, I just was shooting one today, putting somebody's floor in. I just got an emergency weather radio. I had one, gave it to Bernadette. I got to get a new one. But I do have one, like when I was a brand new channel, a company sent me one that's a crank, and I can get NOAA radio on there. So I could always use that one. So I can't go to Australia. I don't do spiders and snakes. I know that. It's like the size of snakes that they have here, like that's enough to give anybody a heart attack. Can't do that. But I would go still. I definitely would go. Debbie Conan in the house. Good to see you. I'm on my phone. My computer crashed. No. Sorry, I don't know how to address individuals. I think I might have to listen. So, guys, from my good friend Debbie Conan, right up the road from me where I live, a big hello to everyone. Debbie, you're covered. I got the Debs covered. At least you're on here. That is right, Floss. Is your van mid-roof or extended roof? So my van is the high roof, and it's not the super high like Les and Bernadette's, and it's the extended length. So regular high. But I'll tell you, the reason why I'm so close to the ceiling is because I have an elevated floor in my new build, so that I've got storage underneath my twin beds. So, and Kelly came out this last weekend. We had the beds where it was one big bed, 70 inches wide, 72 inches long, and Maddie could lay sideways She's about 29 inches long. Look at her. Look how long she is. That is a long dog. And there is plenty of room for all of us. After I install my MaxxAir fan and connect it to the Blue Sea fuse block, what fuse do I use? So, what you want to do with anything in your van is see what current it draws and multiply it by 125%. Now, typically what I do is I happen to like 10 amp fuses, and I'll put 10 amp fuses in a lot of my stuff. I'm protecting the wire because a lot of times I use 12 gauge wire on almost everything. Recently I have been using 14 for the lights and the USBs, but my cigarette lighter adapters, my some of my other stuff, I use 14, but everything else I use the cigarette lighters, water pump, stuff like that, I use 12. So however many amps it draws, multiply it by 125%. If it is like 7.8, you're going to have to put a 10 amp fuse in there. If it is 4.9, a 5 amp fuse. Kind of got to round that up a little bit. So I want to say this, but it's not the electrical person in me saying it. Is there's so many times when I'm on the road, I just have a regular pack of fuses. I've got 12 gauge wire on almost everything, 14 on the rest, and I like to use like 5 amp fuses in my USB ports, 10 amp fuses basically in everything else. So never had a problem. But I have the Blue Eddy system, and it really is it handles everything for me. How is Kelly doing? She's misbehaving. She is misbehaving. She went to work today. That's the only reason she's behaving today. I like Max Velocity, not Ryan Hall, you all so much. Oh, I have never heard anyone say that they aren't a fan of Ryan Hall. They're all friendly. The snakes, I know you're talking about the snakes. You're out of your mind. I have 8 100-watt panels on my roof. Can I use 2 charger controllers that came with them? Each can handle 400 watts simultaneously, or should I just get one for all the panels? Do you have one battery set up? If you've got one battery set up, I would get one solar charge controller that can go to your battery setup. That was what I would do. And I've done like there's so many times I do like the Blue Eddies and EcoFlows. I've done the full electrical setup probably, I'm just going to say 4 times, where start to finish, the solar charge controllers, the inverters, worked on several more than that. And for me, it would be easier to go with the one, but if you ever find an answer different than that, I would love it if you would make sure to let me know. But I feel like if all your batteries are one, like they're all in parallel or whatever, then I would just use the one. So, do you have a Sirocco fan and wire strip? Do you have the Sirocco fan and the wire stripping tool affiliate link in your website? I actually have the Sirocco fan, and the wiring stripping tool is in my video from the puck lights. It's in there, and I can even go back after the live stream and drop an affiliate link for the Sirocco fan. But here's the thing. Once you click on a link of something that you like, so like say you go to the puck light video and you grab that wire stripper. Once you click on that wire stripper, you're now in like my cookies, and anything that you buy that entire purchase, I get credit for. I get a small credit for. So no extra cost to you guys. Just I get a little bit of kickback. And I'll tell you guys, like I have averaged anywhere from like $25 from Amazon to $190 from Amazon. That is when I've got several clients ordering stuff for their vans, like on Black Friday, stuff like that. So, Johnny Lighten is in the house, a little late, but at least I'm here. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. I'm going to make sure high roof but extended length. That's what I'm getting in my next van in a few months. I like it. I like the size of my van. I build out a lot of Ram ProMaster 3500 extended, and I don't think they get it because I got it. I think they get it because they've done their research. That's what they like, and that's what they end up getting. So between the Ram ProMaster 3500 and the Transit 250 148 wheelbase, that's pretty much. I had my first Sprinter here at the shop no, I got a friend that's got a Sprinter. Linda's got a Sprinter, but somebody that actually wants some work on it. I want to stay occasionally at campgrounds. Do I need a 30 amp shore power in my build? You do not. So most campgrounds have, like, normally it'll say like 20 amp, but it's your regular electric cord. Most campgrounds have that. But if you're concerned that you're going to be at probably more campgrounds than you're going to be boondocking, there's a small extender. Matter of fact, actually, they make little plugs that you can actually plug your extension cord into that will go to a 30 amp. But most of them, especially when you're checking in, you ask them, they would love to save a 30, 50 amp spot for someone else and put you on a basic electric setup. So, yep. And then the other thing is you may want to, if you're going to be finding yourself at campgrounds a lot, plugging into 30 amp a lot, I would get yourself either a watchdog, which I know is expensive, or some kind of surge protector to protect your van. And always make sure that you have a good 12 gauge cord and never plug it into an outlet that kind of like, oh, I don't know if that looks safe or not. If that crosses your mind, don't plug your cord into it. You can plug something else in to test it or something. But if it kind of looks like, oh, that kind of looks, you could have your wire heating up. So make sure that you've got a good 12 gauge cord that you're plugging into anybody's outlet. So, because if they have any kind of a loose wire or anything, you've got a 14 gauge cord, or even smaller, maybe. I don't know how you would do that in van life, but your cord heats up, it can cause a fire for you. What's boondocking mean? All right. Boondocking is if you go off grid, just like Forest Service land, or down by the river in a national forest, and you're just parked and you're not hooked up to anybody's power, you've just got your solar, or you were charging while you were driving, and you need nothing from nobody. You're just out there living life. That's boondocking. Mooch-docking is when you come to Midwest Van Builders and you plug your electrical cord into my outside wall outlet over here. That is mooch-docking. Or you go to mom's house and plug into mom's house, or your sister's house, or your brother's house. That's mooch-docking. Camping without hookups. That was such an easy way to say it. I like going through Alabama to get to Maine. um, Boondocking in the Billabong. What's a Billabong? What's Billabong? I'm boondocking in the Grand Canyon forest. I bet you I know where you're at, because in the Grand Canyons, there's not a whole lot of places. But are you near Tucson on that forest road? Because that is a nice area. That is a nice area. Where's a good place to buy bunk window shades for privacy? Are you looking for like these? Are you looking for these that fold up? These are mine. They are from Van Essentials, and they are insulated and they are nice. They're magnetized to your window, and I get them from Van Essentials. I also can get them now from Van Windows Direct. Both places I get a discount. So they're a little, I think they're like $30 maybe 35, but they really do a really good job with blackout and privacy and insulation. These are good insulation. When it's cold outside, those are perfect. Okay, we just call it off grid. Off grid. That's what I say, off grid. Let's see here. It's the wilderness in Australia. I'll tell you what, I don't know if I could do off grid in Australia. I feel like I'd be worried about a kangaroo on top of my van. That's what happens when you watch too much Wi-Fi, sci-fi, maybe. that would be a viral video. Guys, it is 8:27. I'm gonna say a big thank you to all my channel members and my Patreon members. Next Sunday, Patreon Live at 7:30. Where am I at? And to my moderators, thank you so much. Much appreciated, guys. I'm going to try and get that comment off there. What am I doing? There you go. I made a great back window privacy cover with a blackout curtain and Thinsulate. Loving it. Yep. I wish I had a sewing machine. Oh man, I tell you what, my sewing machine has about bit the dust. I took it apart and missing a little piece now. I feel like it's time for a new one. I feel like I'm just going to end up having to hire all my sewing out from here on out. Thank you. You are appreciated. Thank you. And you know, that's the thing. I'm assuming that you're saying thank you to channel members, Patreons. They are appreciated deeply. There's people that just can't do that and support my channel in so many other ways. I really do appreciate every single one of you guys, especially when I mess up my video and have to take it down after 167 views and put it right back up an hour later. And some of you guys go back and watch it. Yeah. I have a sewing machine that was my grandma's. I think I might have my old one still in my basement at home. So I have a sewing machine, been contemplating putting it in the van or leaving it in storage. It's one of those things, like, in my van, now that I'm actually living in my van at my shop, of course I could always put it in my office, but say I was going to go on the road, unless I was scheduled to do a bunch of sewing, I don't know. I might be able to put it in the floorboard of the passenger seat, but if I'm not going to use it like a dozen times out on my 2 or 3 month trip or 7-week trip, then I'm not putting it in my van. You can usually find sewing machines at secondhand stores for about $50 or so. Yeah, I feel like I would have to take a needle and a bobbin, and I want to try it out. I have the same factory floor that you do. However, it has a few screw holes from previous owner. How can I repair those? Oh, factory floor. So there's a lot of vans that what we do is we take these D-rings out and it leaves a hole. So what I do is I will go underneath and I'll put a piece of kill mat on the bottom, and then on top you can put a little glob of silicone or any kind of sealer. And if you want, once that sets up, put kill mat on top. So Dale, thanks for becoming a channel member. I appreciate you. So yeah, put kill mat over it and you'll be good. So as long as it's covered, because those little holes, it's a nice little place for mice to come up. And I do believe they can. So kill mat's good. I've seen some people put like a little piece of steel down and like literally cover it that way. I don't want to put 4 more holes or 2 more holes down on the van. So you could put some like JB Weld and a small piece of steel down. But for me, I think the kill mat is fine. So my daughter has a Genome sewing machine. Genome. It has been a real workhorse for her. Ren Fair costuming. Very cool. JB Weld worked for me. Absolutely. Yep. Getting a bigger van in a few months, but all the ones I find don't have any windows. Honestly, I say this, and I know it sounds crazy, but I am telling you, windows should not be the deal breaker, because these bunk windows, like I get them for like $2 something a piece, and they are very, very easy to put in. And I know there's so many people that don't want to cut a hole in their van. What you could do is call me and come see me, and you can use my shop, and I will just kind of guide you, and you can put all your windows in, and you're going to save yourself a whole lot of money not walking away from that van and looking for something that's got windows. Because honestly, the bunk size windows these are the kind of windows that you want. You want to be able to open them. A lot of vans from the factory, they are fixed glass windows. So was thinking about getting a Bluetti Elite that you guys talk about. They're $2,500 here. No, $2,500 there. That's crazy. Like, what's the currency exchange right now? That's too much. How is your brother from another mister? He was in not real long ago, but when he was here, he was doing well. But I want a window over my kitchen area too. That's what I'm saying. Anywhere you want a window, you can put a window, whether it's fixed glass, a awning, a bunk window, back window doors. if you find a van that you like, that's got good mileage, that's a good price, windows, I promise you, like, even if you get on the phone with me, literally step by step, I'll walk you through it. You can do it. The people that follow my channel, I feel like you guys, you've been watching the videos. Windows, you can do it. You can do it. I promise you. Desert Deb is in the house. Happy birthday, Deb. Yesterday was Deb's birthday. I want to know, did you behave? I want to know if you behaved. So, yeah. I know, right? That's crazy. I just bought one for a client. $8.99, I think. $8.99. Man, I feel like I could buy one and ship one to you cheaper than $2,500. That's ridiculous. A good thing to fill small holes with is what body shops call drip check or body caulking. It's about $20 a tube. It's made to fill holes and gaps in auto bodies. Perfect. The problem, like with some of like the holes that we're filling, is the metal is that thin. So you try and put something in there and it just falls. So if you put Kilmat first, then your product, then you're going to be good to go. But I want a window over my, I think I already read that. I know I already read that. Johnny put several windows in for me. Johnny's my cousin made me a half sugar-free drink with Malibu, so I was nice. Happy birthday. You cut out that big. Uh-oh. I know. She said something about an ad. Oh, yeah. The ads are just, you're going to get one at 30 minutes if you don't have premium. It's ridiculous. Yep. Hammer time. That's got to be some kind of emoji. On my end, I see the spelling, not the emoji. I need to turn my YouTube on. That's when I do my live streams out here. I don't have my second monitor. On my second monitor, I can keep the YouTube open and I can see what the little emojis are. So, yep, just got the ad. Sorry, guys. I'll tell you what. If you're a content creator, you cannot believe the amount of things that have been added that I had to physically unclick for tonight's live stream because they were going to feed you guys restaurants and gas stations near where you live. It's all new. And I thought, if you put 4 commercials in one live stream and I make 46 cents, you're not going to monopolize my live stream. So I unclicked all of them. So, Dawn saying hi, $8.99. Well, what a big markup here. Surely our dollar isn't that bad. That's what I'm saying. There's no way. That's like 2.5 to 1 over. It's over 2.5 to 1. It cannot be that bad. If you guys know what I was saying, I will repeat it. If what I was talking about, have you installed a bed lift system? I have not. A friend of mine that she follows this channel, her and her husband are real nice people, folks. Her and her husband installed one. I did get a real good look at it down in Arizona. And except for the space that it takes up, very doable. It's a lot of work. I don't know if you got a big van, the ProMaster Extended, whatever, because the mechanisms, and then There are some that are just electric, and there are some that if something fails with the electric or the motors, you can manually override it. I would highly recommend that one for sure. Patricia is in the house. Good to see you, Patricia. I know she's excited. I've been working on her van the last 2 days and over the weekend, getting it set up so that she is one of my August builds, and we got her up here so that we could do some windows and fan, throwing a floor in there for her so she can be comfortable this summer and take some trips, live in her van, and go from there. Cece Camper Lady, good to see you, Cheryl. Hope you're doing well. Hope you are doing well. Don't the bed lifts draw a lot of power? It really depends on the motor that you get. I don't know if his were AC or DC, and I feel like he had 2 motors, but they actually were a lot smaller than what I was anticipating. I'm sure it's sometime down the road somebody's going to want me to install one, but until that time, yeah. But think about it. You got to put the lift system on the front and the back, and because or else you're going to take away from the length of your build, and then you got to kind of work around those with everything else. So when someone says, can you do that, I'm going to say, oh, maybe. I'll try anything. Sean will try anything. We're putting a shower in this build that I'm doing right now. You guys are going to be excited to see the build that is going to be done in April, because it's really different than, and there's things that are identical to all my builds, but there is some designing in this where she literally has a bedroom, she has a bathroom, and then she has a living area / galley area. I feel like she has designated areas, and I'm kind of liking it. I'm kind of a fan. I feel like it's going to be duplicated in the future. The Van Halen. I think it's called the Unchained. The van is called Unchained, and it's because she is a Van Halen fanatic. So, do you have to turn on the button on the Bluetti in order to use the AC wall outlets? You can do it via Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, but in my builds, you have to turn the AC current on the Bluetti for the outlets to work, unless you are mooch docking or on shore power somewhere. Forgot what I was saying. Any thought on the Murphy bed setup? I'm okay with the Murphy bed setup. It depends on how you want the hinges. I had a client that wanted the Murphy bed. She bought the big like contraptions that people use in like studio apartments. These things are massive. There's nowhere to anchor them. I have a set of them in my office, but just too much. And then you have to have a big box area, and she had a window right there. So we did the slide out bed for her, but a Murphy bed, definitely a space saver. It really does prevent you from putting a cabinet above it, because the Murphy bed does have to go, it does go pretty high on that wall. But I've seen people that have a Murphy bed that folds down and a huge TV behind it. They were gamers. Pretty cool. I'm deciding if I want a shower or not. It would be a dry one though, not a wet one. I can't wait to see the new build. I will do a rock music theme when I build a van. Have a Google of a of the Toyota Hayes roof pod, they can go on any low roof van. Can start offering them too for people that want to stand up. I actually had a company reach out to me that wanted me to become an installer on some lifts. At that time, I turned that down. It's just we're swamped right now, and something like that. Like I know you guys. It's like me and Sean are still we're still like getting everything down so that it's just seamless. And what is a dry shower? I feel like someone might call a dry shower a shower area that has a toilet in there, a door, a curtain, and can wash up in there, but doesn't have a running faucet. Somebody tell me if I'm wrong. I'll have to buzz over for a visit soon, going camping in Nashville next week, Tuesday after the predicted storm. I hope you're going to Washington County Lake. Do a little catch some for me. Is Sean related to you? Sean is not related to me, but I would happily adopt him. He is. I actually have 3 children older than him, 1 child younger than him. So I would happily adopt him. He probably wouldn't go for that, but he is a very good friend of mine's grandson, and he rented my shop for 28 days, built out his own van, and we got to talking. Me and his grandma got to talking, and he came back, and he's been here since last May. And I am telling you, we are killing it. And he's happy. I'm happy. Maddie's happy. My clients are happy. So Sean is staying. Can a switch be put to switch from the solar panel charging and 12-volt socket to keep from having to keep unplugging and replugging? Can a switch be put in? Does your panel go to a little solar charge controller, or do you just have a portable panel? If you just have a portable panel, you can put a isolator switch on there and do just that. Yep. Dry shower, no toilet. Exactly. Did you train yourself not to hit your head on the upper cabinets? I know, right? So I haven't done it since Quartzsite. And I think about it every now and then. Kelly and I were talking about it this week, and I'm good. So far I'm good. Now, for some reason, I feel like this side, the passenger side, I really haven't sat over there a whole lot. I feel like that one might be a hair lower, but if you go off the shiplap, I feel like it's the same, but maybe it's just got a little bit different of an angle. I think you and Sean have already figured it out. I tell you what, I say it all the time. He catches me saying it all the time, and I feel like he's pretty happy as well. But like, I'll help him work on stuff, and there'll be a Saturday, and he'll come in and help me, get something heavy down or whatever. And we really got a good thing here. Yeah, panel on the roof and a 12-volt socket. You could do that. And I wonder if it would be easier to use a splitter instead. I'm going to think on that one, Cheryl. I think that would work. Sean is a meticulous craftsman. Yep, yep. His kitty is. Oh my goodness. That except like, oh, look at that. She's tired because she was chasing Sid for 2 hours today. Are they any modular unit builders you prefer other than for minivans? You know what? I really don't know their companies well enough to recommend one to someone that trusts my honest opinion. It would be more like, I know there's a company in like Colorado Springs that does a lot of them. I have worked on some of their builds before. So I feel like that would be something I would pass to recommend to somebody. I think there's some good ones out there. And if you do your research, and the thing of it is, that is the win. You take your van there, and I think like in 4 hours, they've got you set up. Now, I had a lady here, and she had a transit trail. She let me, well, I mean, I was down there talking to her for quite some time, and not real happy, with it looks very industrial as opposed to homey. But depending on what you're doing out there, like, there's probably a considerable price difference. Now, I think you are going to pay a lot for what you're getting, but you're going to get it fast. And that is normally what sends people that direction, is they really need to be in their van, living in their van. They don't want to drop it off for 5 weeks, 7 weeks, or they're not sure really what they want yet. So Jim and Julie bought a humongous modular thing to go in their van, and it did not work at all. They ended up selling it. And I don't know if it was half the price or if they got a little bit more than that for it, but you don't know what you don't know. But there's a video on this channel. Oh yeah. There's a video on my channel. Yep. Would I be able to hire you to install 100 flexible solar panels that will be connected to a Bluetti before I cover my ceiling? Absolutely. Yeah. Yep. I will be coming from Florida. Yeah, that's no problem. The only thing about the flexible panels is you really got to make that decision. Do you want them taped, or do you want them screwed on? So once you screw them on, you've got 8 holes in your roof. I want 1,000 watts solar on the roof. How many panels would I need? We'll also have the MaxxAir fan up there too, should the panels be flexible ones. You're not gonna, I don't know what van you have, you're not gonna get 1,000 watts up there. You might be able to find 2 400-watt panels. They're big. So what van? Oh, you don't even have your van yet. You're getting a van. Tell me if I'm wrong. I think you're the one going to be getting a van pretty soon. I get 600 on the ProMaster. I get 400 on the Transit. Those are 200-watt panels, east to west. You can put 2 along this MaxxAir fan. That's how I have mine. I'll have to look and see what the dimensions are on the 400-watt panels. A lot of times when you guys see a van out there and their panels are just a little bit past the roof of the van, that is why, because those are big panels. They are big panels. So Yep, the 3500 extended. I put 3 200-watt panels on there at 600 watts. But you can probably get 2 100-watt panels next to the fan. So, yep, contact me through Instagram. Perfect. Somebody replied to a comment on one of my videos and said that there were new panels that were 400 watts, and they're smaller. I don't know if they're flexible or if they're rigid. Now, we've been talking a lot about the flexible panels, and the flexible panels seem to be more efficient than the rigid panels, in my opinion. The ones that I have been testing out, the ones that I have been using. So it's kind of a sweet deal but I don't, like on my van builds, I would never put 16 holes in my client's roof for a flexible panel. So we use the rigid ones here for that reason. So I'm getting the extended 3500. Yeah. I'll look into that. I'll make a note and look into that. But they're tough. 600 watts with alternator charger for Bluetti is all you really need. Absolutely. I agree with that. Depending on your battery setup, I believe that if you've got 600 watts, the Bluetti Charger 1 or a way to charge while you drive, that especially, that's the funny thing, because I was talking to Helen today messaging, and I've put inverters in my builds. All 20 of my full builds have inverters in them, and lots of ones that have just come to the shop to get them done. And we have had no problem for years, since 2020, no problems. And all of a sudden, these battery banks are really, they are not liking the inverter charging. And the problem is when you are pulling power off of your alternator, it's not a consistent, solid 12, or not 12, but 14.4 volts. If it was consistent, stable voltage, I think it wouldn't be a problem. But yeah, the only flexible panels I would put on top of my van are the Bouge-RV SIG solar panels, in my opinion. Yep. I did the Bouge-RV Flex 100, and when I was in Quartzsite, I would get all the way up to 94 watts on a 100-watt panel. So Bouge-RV's got a good reputation for their flexible solar panels. I have the portable Bluetti 350, and I've gotten in the 370s off of that before. It's a nice, but it is portable. It's not waterproof, and you don't mount it on top of your car. You got to make sure, if you're getting some kind of a portable panel, flexible panel, that it's waterproof. So I have the SIG and I love it. Absolutely. Stella, good to see you. Helen dropped the link for Sean's build. Sean has done a lot of work to his build, mostly decorating. Matter of fact, I need to sit that guy down. We're going to do an update. Once he is using his mini split more, we're going to do an updated video on the efficiency of it, the power consumption of it, and I will show you guys all the cool decorations in his van. He loves getting on camera. Is the Bouge-RV solar flexible panels are compatible with Bluetti? They are. Honestly, guys, in my opinion, the only battery banks that I've ever had a problem not taking in power from any panel that's got MC4 connectors is the Jackery. The Jackery can be kind of finicky about its solar input. Jackery likes for you to use the Jackery panels. We can have an AC contest. Lenny, you will win because yours is a AC current one. But if you're going to use your battery power and he's going to use his battery power, you will lose. You might be cooler though. Powerland flexible panels work awesome as well, 100 watts. Powerland. I've never heard of them, I don't think. Driving home a couple weeks ago, will be better during this summer. Absolutely. Have you had any issues with flexible panels damaging the roof when they're installed for a while? I honestly have installed some flexible panels on some people's vans. They asked me to. One of them, it got screwed down. And then another lady just wanted hers taped down. And I have not had anybody come back and say, hey, those panels we installed. So I can say that when you put those panels on the roof like that, if you don't attach them, then if you tape them, there's no point in putting that corrugated plastic underneath there if you're going to tape them. In my opinion, it might reduce some of the heat, but if that can't breathe, then I think it's going to heat up just as well. But if you're going to mount them with, anchor them on, and you put that, I keep calling it Coroplast, and I don't know, Chloroplast or whatever. It's that corrugated plastic, which I just found out Menards up the road has it. So if I ever need it, they have it in stock, in 4x8 panels. But if you use that and you anchor the panels, then you'll get some airflow. So, but I have never had anyone come back and say, hi, Lisa. I've never had anyone come back and say, man, I wish I wouldn't have done that. There is a guy on YouTube and he's got an RV and he does a lot of videos, a lot of how-to videos, stuff like that. Kind of shares, he shares RV stuff like I share van stuff when I can. He mounted flexible panels on his RV and he's had to redo it. So I honestly can't even, I don't have a clue on what the channel name was, but I watched it one time. And if you key in mounting flexible solar panels to your RV, I guarantee you that video is going to be one of the ones that comes up. And so he shows exactly how to do it. And he had an issue and had to redo it. And you can look at that as well. And I think it might have been that he first put them on without the corrugated plastic and then added it so that they wouldn't be so hot. You can take a thermal gun and test your panels. And I'm telling you, anybody that's been driving that, say you're parked and you look at your solar input and it says 160. I'm telling you, you start driving and that number is 100% going to go up because these panels work better when they have airflow and they're able to cool down a little bit. I'm telling you, when I drive, I get incredible solar. And I know it's the heat. I know it. did you say power stations don't like alternator charging, as in charging while you drive? They don't. All of a sudden, I think these companies have like, we could get DC charging and our power systems, and just by doing this little update in the systems, they would have to go to the Charger One. EcoFlow's got one. These big battery companies, they all have them now. But pure sine wave inverters, or I was using modified sine wave inverters for years, no problems. And charging while I drive. So many people out there doing it. I can't even tell you. And all of a sudden, like literally, it just was like, I got contacted by one person, and then I got contacted by another person. And the Bluetti, because that's what I typically install, that's what a lot of my clients have, they did an update, and one of my friends was researching it and saw it on Hobotech's channel that the uninterrupted pass-through system doesn't like, that has been updated in the Bluetti, doesn't like the inverter charging. So that's been creating some issues. Now, I still have a lot of people out there with the inverter in their van. I have the inverter in my van. My Max has no problem charging off of it. My Elite would not even come on my inverter. It is a 1500 watt, and it should have charged it, but I have the modified sine inverter. So I, here on out, on my clients' vans, will be installing the Charger One. The most you can charge is 575, but honestly, that's a nice, safe, it's not a bad thing. So, yep. Yeah, Coroplast. Yeah. Yep. I agree about no Coroplast. So you say, are you saying just mount them without the Coroplast? Good to see you, Celeste. Tell Rudy we said hi. I use it on my Jackeries and Bluetti. That is surprising. That is surprising. Jackery, I want to know, because Jackery uses that. It's not the 5521. It's bigger barrel. So you're able to plug a barrel plug into your Jackery. What Jackery do you have? If it's the 1,000 or under, I would love to hear about that, because I've had so many clients that have the smaller backup Jackeries, and it's just, test that headliner too. The only issue would be getting the sticky stuff off. Absolutely. But honestly, it's like, I mean, if you had to switch them out, you're going to put sticky stuff right back on there. Everybody likes solar panels. What is the best 2,000 watt brand pure sine wave? I mean, I feel like you're going to have multiple people answering this question. I mean, the best as in, because like a lot of people get the Renogy, but I've had people have problem with the Renogy. One thing that I like about the Renogy inverter is it's got, when you connect your wires, it comes with the wires, so you're not going to missize them. It's got a nut on the back you take off, and then it's got a bolt on the front that you take off, that's got a lock washer, a flat washer, and then your cable goes on there. So say you're vibrating down the road and the nut comes off. It vibrates loose for whatever reason. your wires are not going to come loose and get hot and create a fire. They shouldn't, as long as you put them on right. I've had a client that put them on wrong, and that is exactly what happened. The wire came loose, and they smell hot wires. So, but if you have an EcoFlow or you have a Bluetti, I would be very cautious in putting a inverter on your battery and being able to run your power stations either now or going forward. I feel like the firmware updates, I feel like they something's going on, because I had all kinds of people not having any issues all of a sudden have an issue. I got 2 ads too. Oh, it's after 9. It's after 9. Sorry, guys. I have all of them 1,000 and under. And you're telling me that you can plug any panel that has the MC4 connectors into that 240 or 500? Can you make a video on that? Because we have never been able to get a generic panel like that goes to the barrel plug. Like, it's just a consistent Mona, I can't even tell you the cables that she went through trying to make that happen. She with the Coroplast, you have the leading edge, and it sort of defeats the purpose. Yeah, exactly. You might be able to, like, say you put the Coroplast underneath there and you taped 80% of the front, 80% of the back, 80% of both sides. You might have some airflow, but if airflow can get in there and possibly, that wind, you possibly could lose a panel. If you make it consistent, the wind's just gonna blow right over that. So, and I'm telling you, you drive through New Mexico and Arizona, there are crosswinds. And our good friend Sean lost a solar panel this spring, this winter. I have a Jackery 3000. What about that one? See, that's what I'm saying. The Jackery 3000, the Jackery 2000, I bet you that those are going to be okay. Because when so many people get loud, companies listen. The right people. So when the right people get loud, they change things up. You can't make it where it'll only work with your solar panels. That's not, people don't like that. So, I'm assuming that Helen asked about, are you saying Victron DC to DC charger? No, Victron is good too. Victron is quite a bit more expensive. Victron is very expensive. They're good, but like for me, if you're going to have EcoFlow electrical setup, then I would get the EcoFlow DC to DC charger. If you want an inverter in your van and try to charge your EcoFlow, we'll do that. Because a lot of people use their inverters for other things. Rice cookers, for one. So if you want to put an inverter in your van, we will 100% put an inverter in your van. It's possible that 6 months from now, your EcoFlow won't charge off of that inverter. That is why, because these firmware updates are messing it up. That is, I have never heard of that before. That is unbelievable. That is unbelievable. I would love to see a video on that. Or what connector do you have? Because what year did you buy your power banks? Unless they are like new power banks. Like, I mean, me and Mona, and not just that, but like there's been other people. It's like it's so hard to get that little 240 or that 500, that 1,000, to charge off the solar. Um, that's what happened to me. Lost my panel. Yep. Yeah. See, I would do a complete run. You can check out my Jackery 500 when I come over next time. Absolutely. That'd be perfect. That'd be perfect. Because if they've done firmware updates or something because I had a lady here, she had a barrel plug and it would not take her solar panels. It would not take her solar panels. What's going on? Fonzie Onesie is in the house. I built with Blue Eddy and Jackery flexible panels exterior. Right. Jackery panels will work with Jackery batteries. 100%. That's not a dispute. That's exactly, I didn't go with Jackery. Absolutely. I'm telling you, it's a thing. Unless they fixed it, which by all means, I hope they have by 2025. Definitely want to use my slow cooker, and there you go. So I mean, honestly, price wise, I would probably get the Renogy. It comes with the cables. It comes with the remote on and off. Yeah. And honestly, I don't know if I've ever seen, I'm sure they do. I don't know if I've ever seen a Victron inverter on any clients or anybody's setup. I feel like they use like a different, I'll have to look it up. We learn stuff every day. 2 Blue Eddies I bought this year, 1,000 Jackery and 500. Wow, it's been a few years going strong. I used 4 different panels, not only Jackery solar panels. Well, that's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. Why do you have so many batteries? Oh, you got your tiny home. You got your tiny home. Yep. Been a few years going strong. That's interesting. What were the folks that lost panels fastening them with, I'm assuming some kind of tape, but what kind? So, Patty's was Eternabond, I think, tape. Or you know what? It might not have been Eternabond. I think she uses a different kind of tape than we do. I've used Eternabond. I have a client that's been on the road since 2021 with Eternabond tape on her flexible panels, and she has never had a problem. And to my knowledge, hasn't replaced that tape. That would be a chore. Sean, that lost a panel, he had his mounted on the ends, and it probably was the aluminum on the panel actually broke. But we were going through New Mexico, and like, the winds that blow over semis? That's what was going on. Like when I went through, I saw 4 semis blown over on their side. That's what was going on. And that's what happened to his. So it wasn't a tape. It wasn't a tape. It was like tornado type winds. Yeah, she uses VHB. I don't know what that is, but and a turbine. Yeah, there you go. But I didn't tape the leading edge. Yeah. So 75 miles an hour down the free. I don't believe that. I don't believe Patty was going. That's. Oh, you know what? That's how it is out there. Y'all ever been to Texas where you can drive 80 or 85 miles an hour? It's crazy. Rusty says, I can't believe I almost missed this. At 9:18, you should have missed it. We are 19 minutes over, but we're talking about solar panels and power banks. So we got to just hang out a little bit longer. I use my air freight. It does use 900 watts, and 15 minutes uses 5% of my power. So you wouldn't need the inverter anyway. Hey, if you have a Blue Eddy, because it has an inverter anyway. Is that right? Right. So what happens that, Aussie, let me tell you what I do or used to do on my bills. One of the things about owning a power bank is you want to be able to charge it while you drive. And solar isn't always the best because of overcast days, and you got 600 watts up there, but you've got 9,000 watts of power. So what I do for my clients is I connect a inverter on the auto battery so that the alternator is recharging the battery while they're driving. They can plug their power station in to that inverter to charge while they're driving. The reason why I like doing that, the reason why that is a good thing, is because a lot of these power banks can charge at like 1,100 watts an hour, 1,800 watts an hour, 700 watts an hour. DC to DC chargers, like Victron, you can get one at 280, you can get one at 360. Bluetti, you can get it at 575. EcoFlow, about the same. So you're kind of limited on your power. It's a nice easy draw from your battery. But if you're only driving 30 minutes down the road, and for 30 minutes you can charge at 1,100 watts, you're going to charge that battery up 500 watts. So that's why we do that. And since you've got the inverter on the starter battery while you're driving, you can cook in a slow cooker or something like that. I've got all kinds of people out there on the road that use rice cookers. They'll start their van up, do a rice cooker, and they haven't taken an ounce of power off their battery. So that's how they do it. That's how we roll in Texas. Patty says she still hasn't had an ad. You must have YouTube Prime. I think one other time you didn't have any ads. I'm considering getting solar panels from EcoFlow. I actually didn't know that EcoFlow had their own panels. Are they portable? I'll have to look them up. Are they portable, and are they waterproof? Are they rigid panels? Have you looked at them? I will say this though, out of all the power stations that I ever promote or review or I'm not going to say push. I mean, a lot of my clients have certain power banks because they follow my channel and they buy it. Sometimes I'll say, oh, I like this one. The EcoFlow and the Bluetti, I feel like, is a win-win situation. The EcoFlow, the big one, is heavy. It is 99 pounds. That is the number one reason why some people go with the Bluetti, like the Elite weighs 3 pounds, but doesn't have quite as much power as the big EcoFlow 3600. But yeah, so when you're in Texas, every time I go through there, right? So what, long explanation short, I feel like EcoFlow has become a very trusted company. I feel like you could go with EcoFlow and have good results. I use you see this one. Yeah, I use a Victron 50 amp DC to DC converter on my alternator to charge my Bluetti AC200L. Perfect. The Bluetti AC200L, if you don't have that one, because it actually has a 48 volt system, if you're not going to do your wiring in 48 volt setup, Bluetti has, like, I think it's called the D40 that you can install, and it works as a charger, step down controller. So pretty nice. Let's see here. Sorry I'm late. Simply Me Journey. Thanks for coming in. Have you ever used the solar panel exhaust fans? They work awesome to push air. Oh, solar power exhaust fan. I have not. I have not used that. I just checked. I didn't see where EcoFlow makes a flexible panel, only rigid. There you go. Yeah, I'll have to check out the dimensions of those and the volts. I feel like anybody out there going van life, setting up a build, like, don't go 12-volt panels. I feel like all these new power banks, the electrical setups, I feel like just go the 24-volt panels or higher, just jump straight to them. That's me. Mine used to 500 plus on my sock batteries, but now only on the Bluetti I get under 200. What? Oh, those are, how many watts go in? Let me. Oh yeah. Yeah, the 420 solar panels are heavy. My 350s are 35 pounds, the panel. You used to get 500 plus on the sock batteries, but the Bluetti gets under 200. Because it's the Victron, and it should say on there the watts that you're going to max out at. I feel like you probably, were your sock batteries, did you have them in series or did you have them in parallel? Surfing Dodo, get it, take care, go van shopping, get that transit. Oh, mercy. The Bluetti 2400. Is that the orange one? Is that the black and orange one? Is that the T, the Bluetti T? The AC200T, I think it's called. It's got like 330 amp outputs. I'll tell you, if you're going to be stationary, and because we all know, we've all been in the desert stationary, your solar just is not as effective as portable panels. So if you find yourself getting to a destination and staying there for a little while, I would 100%. The Bluetti panel that I have, and I don't care what panel you get, honestly don't care what panel you get. That 100-watt panel that I used in Quartzsite, if I would have had my 350, that would have been a game changer. When we weren't driving, there was many days that we didn't go anywhere. And I just had my little 100-watt flexible panel that I was trying out. If I would have brought my 350 with me, I'm telling you what, it would have been a game changer. So if you're parked a lot and you've got 600 watts of rigid solar, but you're parked a lot, I'd get a flexible panel, a good flexible panel. You can chase the sun. And I used my little tripod fire cooker, except for the wind blowing it a couple of times because I didn't have it bungeed down. It worked perfect. So, yeah, we're going to be calling it pretty soon. Mona Rodriguez, hello. I'm beginning my PM self-build this weekend, ProMaster self-build this weekend. Thanks a million, Johnny, for the videos, giving me inspiration. Oh, I am so happy to be of help. If you have any questions whatsoever, please reach out. You can reach out on Instagram, Facebook. You can email me at midwestvanbuilders@gmail.com. And the best of luck to you on your build. So I was struggling with my Victron only letting in 100 watts. And I know you've got a 240 or a Oh, I bet I know why. I bet I know why. If your Bluetti is set to PV, it will restrict it. You have to have it set to car. Check your settings and make sure it is set to car if you are driving and trying to charge. When you're not driving and you're relying on your rooftop solar, set it to PV. So it says like car/other. That's what you want to be set on. I wonder if that's it. You guys update me. Update me. Well, Patty, I know you don't take your truck out all the time, but next time you do, update me. At time, my batteries were set up for 12 volt in series. If they were 12 volt in series, they were not 12 volt. You would have had, like, unless you had 6 volt batteries connected in series. Thanks. Oh, I plan to join. That's awesome. Click the like button. Thank you guys. On 30 amp output. I want to get Bluetti, the orange and black ones. That is a beast. The only thing I don't like about that, but I feel like things are going to have to change here. But I feel like there's a lot of people on the road that don't know how to set up a 48 volt system. Their DC output, they're switching it to 48 volt. And you can step that down, but I feel like there's a lot of people out there on the road that don't know you have to do that, and they're going to burn their system up. They're going to burn their electrical system up. So you've seen the Bluetti on the Home Depot website. You definitely can't get that on there. If you guys are getting a Bluetti, and you want, I can send you a link. I do get kickback on that. You will get a little bit of a discount, but yep. Your brain holds so much information. It's so impressive. I'm flat out remembering my own name. I like literally, Aussie, I literally have learned so much as I have come along. Like I'm telling you, every day we learn something new here. And there's times when, like, I'll say, Lisa, you cannot charge a Jackery off of 4 different solar panels of different companies. Jackery won't let you do that. It's, the older Jackeries. And she is telling me you can. And you know what? If she's doing it, you probably can now. I learn stuff all the time. So, and when I learn stuff, I like sharing it with you guys. And I don't have a problem saying, guys, I told you this, but now it's this way. 600 watts on the roof is working great. Yeah, I love I put 600 watts on most people's vans. I love it. Good night, Christine. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate all your support. So, yeah. So, guys, we're going to cut it short here. Not cut it short. We're going to end this pretty soon. I'm going to give you guys like 5 more minutes, and I have got to let Maddie out and wind down and call it a night. Sean and I are back at it again tomorrow. I will tell you guys, one of my biggest concerns for people out there doing their setup is you got to know your power bank, the DC output. You have to know that. Like the Bluetti AC300 has a cigarette lighter port. If you go plug a cigarette lighter into that battery, it is a DC output. It is 10 amp like you're expecting. Actually, I think it's 8 amp. It's 24 volt. You have to know your power bank as well as you can. And if you ever have any questions, please reach out to me. Bluetti is always improving them. All these companies are always improving them. They're always changing them to make it better and easier for us. But what you guys have to remember, there's a lot of people out there using these power banks for tiny homes, for backup emergency systems in their home. So these companies are changing that DC output current. You have to make sure that you're on the same page as that battery. Because if you don't step that power down, your block is going to get hot. You're going to blow your fuses. You could ruin your system. So got to be careful. Is the Aviator output from the AC200 Max 30 amp, a 28 volt system? It is not. But they are no longer making the Max. The Max is 12 volt, 30 amp Aviator port. That's why I love it. I do love that. But as a builder, I will have to, at some point, we're going to have to start taking that 48 volt, stepping it down. So there's a sale on them now. That must be the orange and black one. I hope that's not from Home Depot. They cannot be the lowest price. You never know, though. You never know. Night, Carrie Joe. Guys, I'm going to read to the bottom, and then we'll call it a night. If you guys have a question and you don't want to wait till next Tuesday, you're not going to make it next Tuesday, send me an email. Most of the time, I try to answer them back within 24 hours. Let me know. I got my first power bank for the house. Absolutely. Absolutely. You only have 11 likes. Come on, guys. Hit that like on the way out. Leave me a comment on the way out. Great live stream, something. Happy birthday, Desert Deb. I don't care. Refresh and it will show more. Good. I use my Bluetti for my tiny cabin backup system. Absolutely. That's exactly what I'm saying. I'm telling you what, like I've seen people with setups with the AC 500 with 4 or 5 batteries per setup. I mean, this is like a massive amount of power. So Bluetti, like they would love to target those kind of systems as opposed to us needing that little Elite. So they've got that Elite as the road trip battery now, but it's got the 12 volt 10 amp cigarette lighter DC output. And you guys know I just want something more stable. So another ad. Oh no, it's 9:30. Burned up her power bank using a 48 panel app. Yeah, when she didn't realize it. Yep, it'll happen. All right, guys, I'm gonna say good night, guys. Thanks for all the questions. It helps other people that maybe don't even know what to ask, and we're all learning, we're all sharing. So appreciate each and every one of you guys on them. I wish the Bluetti would have wheels on them power banks. I know they do have a little cart that you can get, but I get it. They're heavy. They are heavy. Have a good week, everybody. I got an ad when I refreshed. Oh no. Is there a way to link Bluetti batteries with lithium batteries? Only the Bluetti lithium batteries. Only the Bluetti. There's a big cable. So you can have you can charge your Bluetti off of your lithium batteries and vice versa, but you have to have the cable. You have to have the cable. And I think a lot of the Bluettis do come with the cable. But remember, that would be on your DC output. It'll be like an XT90 with alligator clips. That's what you'll look for. So, all right, guys, I'm going to let you guys go. Have a good night. Thanks for all the questions and for hanging out. We'll see you guys next Sunday. We're going to see you guys next Tuesday or Sunday at the premiere. And Patreons, 7:30 on Sunday.